Hi guys, what's up? So I want to make a quick video of how I use certain baits, hard baits in the water, in certain water structure, just for you guys to get an idea of how I use it. Let's see. Let me get my little plants over here. So let's just say that this is just there for looks and stuff, okay guys? So basically, yellow represents sand. Some of the ways I use some of my hard baits, LUCKYCRAFT 110 flash minnow. I think this is one of the OG style ones. This is a macro color one. This is big game on it. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. So let's say this is 4 foot of water right here, right? Let's say this 4 foot of water. You're coming in, and you're coming into 2 feet, and then you're jerking your lure around. It's doing like this crazy thing, and you pause it, and it'll just suspend. That's one of the reasons why this bait is so hard to beat. It's in the shallows as you're coming in, where a lot of fish are feeding when the currents are coming around and stuff. This thing will just stay there. Usually, it won't sink. It won't. If the water's moving it, it'll move it, slightly left and right, like this. But as long as you keep pace with the action of the waves, it'll stay there. It'll stay in this zone, and it has this like rattle sound. I have no hooks on it, and you can hear that high rattle sound right there. It sounds like a fish is feeding on something, which drives other fish crazy to the point where they want to bite them. So that's why one of these baits are so hard to beat. They come in that size of 4.5 inch, and these right here, and anything that's 3 foot, 2 foot of water, even 4 foot of water, even 5 foot of water. If you're in 5 foot of water and you're coming down 2 feet, that's the 3 foot strike zone, and a halibut will be sitting right here at this edge right here, looking up, and they'll see this thing swimming by, and they'll just come by and just bam, just snap at it, and that's what makes these things so effective. And another one for the shallow waters, a little bit bigger, which will keep like small perch off of you and stuff like that, is the LUCKYCRAFT 130s. This is in the baby striper bass version right here. You'll come in, and this will stay in the 2 foot range as well. This is 4 foot of water, and it has like that same darting action. If you're jerking it, it'll jerk left, it'll jerk right, and it'll pause and it'll suspend right there. But these don't have the rattle. You hear no. These are just a transfer weights that go backwards and forwards, but it has no like head rattle in it. So this is more visual. This is more. You're gonna have to work this bait way more in the shallows to be able to get a strike on these. Another lure I like to use in the shallows is a simple crocodile, guys. 3/4 ounce, 5/8 ounce one. You can see that this has been beat up to crap, and I still use it. Hooks are still sharp, and this right here, I'll throw it out, and as soon as it hits the water, guys, don't start reeling it. As soon as it hits the water, let it flutter. It'll have like this fluttery effect. It'll have like this fluttery effect as it's going down like this. It'll do like this. It'll catch water and do like this little dance as it's going down. If you know for a fact that this structure right here is all sand, let it hit bottom and then bring it up and then swim it, in this area right here. And then another reason why you could have this is, let's say it goes into deeper water. Let's say you're in, now this is like 8 foot of water. Dump this thing all the way down to the 8 foot of water, and then fish this whole area right here, and then let it flutter back down, and then as you're getting closer, fish it again. And as water's coming up, just make sure you're always in like within a 2 foot, 1 foot water range. These right here, they'll catch everything in the sun that swims in the surf. Crocodiles are very hard to beat. If you want to start fishing artificial baits, I highly recommend crocodiles in the 5/8 ounce, in the 3/4 ounce range right there. They catch everything. Get the ones that have like that shiny sticker, that like shiny rainbow sticker. This one has like had that sardine with the green and the rainbow sticker. You can see a lot of the stickers gone. It doesn't matter. These things still get bit. If there's barracuda, I've caught barracuda on this. I've caught calicos, bonita, halibut, smelt, mackerel, calico, I mean, anything that's in the surf, basically, I've caught it with this. Okay, I've snagged a few bat rays as well. That's me just, you know, dragging along the bottom, just, you know, snagging everything that's there, you know. But if these are very effective, if you guys want to get into the artificial bait, crocodiles are the #1 thing you should put in your tackle box. Highly recommend it. The 115s, if your guys are getting into deep water, like let's say this is real deep water now, let's say this is in the 8-foot range, or, you know, and it comes up into a certain table and stuff, your 115s are real good. They'll come in, and then you jerk them and they'll sink in this right here. Okay, once they get here, you bounce them and they'll come back down. If this is a 5-foot range, it will hit the 5-foot range. If it's an 8-foot range, it'll stay probably about 2 feet, because these only go up to 5 foot anyways. So 6 foot at times, depending on the salinity of the water. But these right here, if it's all sandy bottoms, it's hard to beat this, because it'll get you within that range. If it is 8 foot, you're going to be in 5 foot, you're in that 3-foot range. As it comes up, you're still in that range, and as you're getting into these slopes right here, this thing looks like it's pecking. It's doing like this wobbling, and it looks like it's pecking on the sand. It looks like it's like straight, like feeding on something, and it makes a 115 very effective in certain inlets, drop offs where the water drops off, table drops off very fast. Makes the 115 very effective. If you have the 110 CAIVOs, which is almost very similar in nose length right there. You can see the bill length right there, very similar. These suspend, so they don't, when you go like this, they'll kind of tend to stay and then very slowly sink. I mean, very slowly. You could jerk them very hard and it'll get you down into like the 5-foot range, 4-foot range, and they'll stay right there, which makes this very effective if there's like, let's say like these are rocks right here. So I'm gonna put a rock right there. I'm gonna put a rock right here. I'm gonna put a rock over here. If you know that there's some structure here and there, and this is within like the 6-foot, 8-foot range, these are very effective, because these come in and they'll come in and they'll stay right above that structure, playing with, you know, flirting with that, you know, 4-foot, 3-foot range right here. What makes these very effective in like these areas right here. These are effective, very effective in the surf too, in open waters. Okay, if it's very flat, where it goes, where you could walk for, you know, a good while, and you're always, you know, waist or chest deep, you know, these they do okay, but they tend to get too low. Okay, they tend to get too low in those ranges. If you're in open waters where it drops off pretty quick, like in Santa Monica and Dockweiler, Redondo, you know, places like that where the water table drops off like this, where it goes from like 2 foot all the way to like 4 foot, and then 5 foot, 6 foot, it gets like that. These right here, very effective in the surf, in those areas. And if there's structure, you know, and you know where those structures placed within a 5-foot range, these are very effective from getting you, you know, right above that structure without actually getting snagged up. Crocodiles, I throw crocodiles in this type of environment too. You just have to time it very correctly. I don't recommend it that much, because you'll lose these a lot. 110s are not very effective in this, because let's say this is, you know, 6 foot right here. You're only 2 foot. You know, you're 4 foot. You're always going to be up here, and you're never going to be within a certain strike zone of where you want to be at. Same thing with the 130s. They only go 2 foot. They don't sink or anything. They're going to always be, you know, you're going to be missing a lot of water table, and over here you'll get strikes over here, but no strikes over here, and you're missing a lot of strikes in this zone right here. So that's a quick rundown for certain baits. And like I said, crocodile's hard to beat. Later on, I'm gonna make a video of how my epoxy baits came out. Just to give you a quick feel for it. This is one of the baits I epoxied right here. These are already bang ups that I had on it before I epoxied it, and you can't really tell that there's anything on there. It feels a lot smoother than what the original, you know, things, the ridges and stuff, they're pretty much gone. I don't feel anything else on them. I have epoxy this right here, but this is an older model that I've been banging up on for a while already. I'm having epoxy this. I could feel the ridges on this, but I don't want to epoxy this. I want to keep this just like this because it's one of those older 110s. Because it has a big game series on the bottom of it. It says Flash Minnow big game series on the bottom. I want to keep this one just like that. I think this one's cool in a macro color. And I'll eventually make a video like that, showing you guys how my epoxy lures came out. This is just a quick example. I'll show you guys the rest of them later. Alright guys.